Remaps. That's something you can do to almost any car these days, whether you've got a Ford Transit, a Golf R, or an old diesel Polo like this one. For just a few £100s of your hard-earned money, you can get someone to play around with the ECU and make loads more power. But is doing something like this really worth it? I mean, what are the drawbacks? What are you gaining? Like, with this car, a 1.9 TDI, probably one of the best cars you can do a remap to. I'm going to be making over 50% more power than standard for just a few £100. I mean, it seems too good to be true. So, there's only one way to find out if it's actually something that's worth doing. By doing it myself. Well, when I say myself, I mean paying a man to do it for me, but same thing. First things first with a remap though, you need to find someone to do it for you. I mean, you can try and remap your car yourself, be my guest, but when old Steve starts messing around with the ECU on his Evo, the chances are it's not going to work anymore. I'm going to absolutely scan the internet to find the best bang for your buck remap. And after spending a few hours looking at things that I shouldn't, I'm actually going to find somewhere that will take this car to the next level. So let's get on the internet and find a remap for the car. Luckily, I've got a 1.9 TDI, possibly the best engine ever made. Move over RB26, move over 2JZ. The 100 horsepower 1.9 diesel will smash anything in its way. More seriously though, it's a brilliant engine, and for a remap, the potential is through the roof. I mean, this engine went in everything from a Polo to a Charan, so remaps are anywhere you look. But finding one that's actually going to benefit the car, not just ruin it within a week, that's the challenge. And come on, I'm 18 years old. I haven't got money to get some crazy custom remap. I mean, I'm happy to spend a few £100, but if you start charging £400-500 just for a remap, not going to happen. Now, to go through the internet, I'm going to use the best tool there is. Not a computer, not a laptop, not even a PlayStation. I'm going to use the iPhone 7. The best tool. And more importantly, the only one I've actually got available, since I use my main phone to film the video. I'm going to try and keep it simple. I'm not trying to find a remap for a Ferrari. Polo 1.9 TDI remap. Okay, let's see what Avon Tuning's got to offer. Stage 1, 100 horsepower to 140. So already more power than a PD130. And luckily, for just your stage 1 map, you don't need any additional mods. So that performance air filter I've done isn't really going to make a difference. Only thing that worries me about stuff like this though, I bet they're all just off-the-shelf remaps. Just something that can flash onto every car. Thing is though, every car's different. What I'm trying to find is something that's custom made but not going to break the bank. I mean, I'll definitely keep it on the back burner, but I want more than 140 horsepower, I'm going to be honest. I know it's just going to hurt the car, but I'm an 18-year-old. Give me the power. TDI tuning. I mean, it's in the name, TDI. Look at the badge on the back of the car. TDI. Okay, starting off, we've got a good sign. Price is being shown. £287.99p. Issue is I've sort of just put in 1.9 TDI, which could be any power. So that's brought for a PD130. Let's refine that search term a bit more and put the PD100 in, shall we? What I forgot to mention as well is I'm going to compare this car with a remap and being standard. We'll take the car for a quick drive and do some proper 0 to 60 runs. Maybe 3 runs back to back, average it out, see what it can do standard, then tune it through the roof and see how much I can improve. Okay, Celtic, Scottish tuners. The 1.9 TDI 100 brake horsepower utilises a VNT Garrett turbocharger. I don't care, just tell me the power. Thank you. Okay, 100 horsepower to 157 brake. That is big power. But being a diesel though, the power doesn't mean anything. The torque is where it matters. And I'm going to go from 177 foot-pounds to 251 foot-pounds. That's like a Mark 7 Golf GTI, you know, a brand new car. Yes, I know a Mark 7's like 10 years old now, but come on. It's got screens inside, it's brand new. Oh, this one's even got a dyno chart. So that peak power is going to be going from about 3.6 to 3.8. And same with the torque, 2.4 to 2.6. I'm going to be making a hell of a lot more power, but through the rev range. Because obviously, not being a petrol, that's the one thing a diesel suffers from, revs. just got nothing. I mean, a typical petrol's what, 6k minimum? Diesels though, you see 4k RPM, give up. There's no point going further. I mean, they get great MPG, but out of the back, all you hear is the noise from a canal boat. Out of the ones I've seen so far, I've had a good look through and this one looks quite good. By the sounds of it, it's going to be a full-on custom remap. And after a quick email to them, £325 for a custom remap, dyno runs and that sort of power. Is it too good to be true? Maybe, but I don't know. I can even get launch control and be a yobbo. Yes. And after a quick look at reviews online, I decided to throw caution to the wind and book the car in for a remap. Hi, yeah, I was just looking to book my car in for a remap. Yes, yeah, the power one, 157 horsepower. All good then, yeah. I'll see you Friday. Alright, thank you. Bye. I don't know how much of a phone call I can show on the internet without actually telling the guy I'm recording, but I'll try and keep it to a minimum. So in short though, I'm going to take this car on Friday, just a few days away, get it remapped. Like I just showed you, 100 horsepower to 157 and 177 foot-pound of torque to 251. And like I mentioned, this isn't an off-the-shelf remap. This is fully custom. The car's going to be sitting on the dyno for probably a couple of hours, getting finally fettled with by men with beards who know what they're doing. By the end of the whole thing, the wizardry should make this thing a beast. I think what's needed now though is to take the car out, give it a good rundown, find out how it is standard, get it remapped and see the difference it makes. Luckily though, the remap does come with a warranty, because if the car blows up, not only is it one more PD Polo that's off the road, I'm back to walking and getting on a bus. So I turned on the tractor-powered Polo to take it for a drive, and of course had to come back and pick up my phone. So we've got about 10 great British pounds worth of the finest premium diesel BP can offer. So let's use that all up by being a yobbo. Oh, what a car! So before we take this car to get its map done, I wanted to take it out in its standard form. So yeah, like I mentioned, the standard car, got about 100 horsepower, 177 foot-pound of torque. It goes really well. I mean, modern day is not a fast car. About 10 seconds to 60 and it won't even top 120. But because it's quite a big engine in quite a small car, that mid-range it gets is so good. On a motorway, between 50 and 70, you put your foot down, still in 5th gear, and the thing just pulls and pulls. It's great. I mean look, put it into 3rd. She goes. Oh wow, a Prelude with pop-ups. And with rail plates. Big respect. I suppose one thing that does maybe concern people a little bit about a remap would be reliability. I mean, you're doing nothing to the car but adding power, causing more strain. But by getting a proper custom remap by people who know what they're doing, they're going to limit each of the car's factors. They're not going to push the turbo too far to the point it blows up. They'll find that peak boost, that prime opportunity, and keep it there. And then things like the clutch, they're not going to push it too far to the point where the clutch starts slipping or even giving up completely. I mean, I'm going to assume this car's still on its original 20-year-old clutch now, because she feels tired. I mean, I've got about that much clutch and it doesn't kick in till there. I'm doing this little drive for all of you because I know how the car drives, I know how it pulls. What I'm interested in though is what 0 to 60s I can get. So best thing to do now is go on my cheap iPhone app, record some times and see where it stacks up. So as I mentioned my cheap iPhone app, we're going to go for this GPS race timer. Whether it's going to be accurate or not, I don't know. But if I'm using the same app before and after, does it matter if it's accurate or not? Probably yeah, but it's the best I can do. Okay, the road's clear. Reset the app. Oh, a low wheel spin. 2nd, 3rd. Come on, baby, come on. 60. Okay, so according to this, 9.1 seconds. I mean, it felt quite good, but Volkswagen claims 10.7 or something. So either the app's wrong or Volkswagen's wrong. And to be fair, Volkswagen aren't great with numbers, so I'm going to go with the app. Okay, run number 2. I'm going to go for a bit less wheel spin. Perfect. Come on, baby, come on. Pull, 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 pull. 60. Oh, that was worse. 10.4. Balls. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. 60. Even worse, 10.5. I think what's left to do now, though, is remap this thing and see what it can do then. And with a clean car and my sunroof tilted open, I headed off to get a remap. So, boys and girls, the day has come. I have waited 7 long months for this. I'm finally remapping my Polo. Yes! I put another £30 worth of premium diesel into the thing and even some diesel Red X system cleaner. So hopefully she should be running like she's brand new. My remap appointment starts at about 3 o'clock. It's currently 2:15 and it's an hour and a half away. Now, I only just about passed maths in school, but even I can tell you I'm not going to make it on time. Classic Harvey, to be fair. I don't think I've ever showed up on time. If anything, I'm always late. And I know some people in the comments are going to be like, oh, when you should have kept it standard, it was a perfectly good car. And yes, I am probably ruining the last standard 1.9 PD on planet Earth. But 150 horsepower. And more importantly, 250 foot-pounds of torque. God, I'm excited. God, I hate Peugeots. Learn how to drive. Tut, tut, tut. I'm not sure how the mic's going to pick up, because as you can see, I've now attached it to my seatbelt. After watching back the footage when it was on the t-shirt, it does sound like I'm in World War II. So hopefully it does pick up a little bit better. The only thing that does scare me about today, though, is my clutch. This could be the last day I have a working clutch. And replacing something like that isn't just a cheap £100 fix. I mean, clutches, like what, 300-400 quid plus all your labour and stuff you got to do. I mean, I had a quick Google search, and to do the full job of changing a clutch, it was like 700 quid. I mean, yeah, that should be my first priority over making my car faster and then more vulnerable, but I want power. And you just can't control a man's desire with cars. It's impossible. People have tried, but no one's ever succeeded, and no one ever will. So what I've not really done is explain what a remap is. I mean, if you're from the 90s, you'll know a remap as a chip or a tune. And it has been something that's been around for years. But especially over the last 5 to 10 years, it has took over. I mean, like I mentioned at the start of the video, almost any car can really get remapped. It's crazy. I mean, that Honda, that Vauxhall, that Volkswagen, that Transit. Oh, a Hyundai of racing stripes. God, you shouldn't remap it, you should sell it and walk. Ugh. So from my quick Google search, what a remap does is just completely alter the car's brain, the ECU. So with something like this, with a turbocharger, it can make the boost right up. Now, I'm not sure what the standard figures are, but I'm guessing these must be, what, a PD100, like 0.3, 0.4 bar at most. And when it's running that low boost, it's not causing any strain on the engine. So what a remap will do is find that amount with a turbo is making good power, but not causing too much strain. Obviously, the car can probably make more power than 150 that I've quoted, but it will blow up by the time I get home. Other things they can do, don't ask me how or why, is mess around with the actual throttle. So when someone speaks about remapping a naturally aspirated car, they'll instantly say, oh, I've only gained 1 or 2 horsepower, but that throttle will be right on it. The second you press it, rather than waiting for the car to get going, you're on it, whoop, done. Now, I'm sure there's probably a million other little things like messing around with the valve springs and allowing the head to produce more power at peak RPM, but I'm no science geek. So I think the best thing for me to do is find a McDonald's, get some miles under my belt, and get this thing powerful. And with the golden arches in my sight and in my belly, I set off on my long journey to Derby. And with miles of traffic, I finally made it, only 54 minutes late. Just 54 minutes late, I've actually made it to Celtic tuning. Right now, I'm watching a LG flat screen TV with my beautiful PD Polo on. Oh, I'm getting nervous now, my heart's beating. I've actually had to strap the car down. Not just because it's something that every single dyno does, but more because the PD Polo makes so much power that it's actually going to drive off the ramps. Okay, we're doing my first dyno run now to get my power, and I feel quite happy just watching my car on the dyno. I mean, look at this. Oh, it's nerve-wracking watching my own car on the screen. I mean, what if it blows up? I signed like 6 waivers. My car will be gone. And worse, I'll be stuck in Derby. I think I'd rather take a life sentence. Come on, Polo, don't let me down. Okay, so I've just watched them do about 45 minutes of fettling with the ECU. Now the door's closed, bonnet's closed, and the fan's back on. So I think we're going to go for a big power run. Whilst letting the two wizards go at it with my car, I got cosy with a magazine to wait, but finally, it was ready. Okay, so I've just watched the car get unstrapped, which means I've got a Remapped 1.9 TDI. The question now though, how much power is it making? Is that one of those fancy YouTube edits? I mean, I'm not with the times, look at me, I'm in jeans. So then, the remap has been done. It is a bit dark. I'm on an industrial estate in a place I've never been to before. So power-wise, we were a bit down. The car realistically could do with a service. So instead of making the 157 claimed, it was 142 horsepower. And torque-wise, instead of a 250, we were 225. Now these numbers are still great. They could have been better if the car had a service and a much better fuel filter. Once that service has been done, it should actually free up the rest of the horsepower and then should be pushing into the 150s. But let's see how it is at 142. Second gear. Okay, she's quick. That put me into my seat. Oh, girl. And as well, rather than topping out at about 4,500 RPM, it can now get to about 5. Oh, I need to be careful around here. I have no idea where cameras are or Ford Fusion's pulling out. Oh, this car can get me in some trouble now. Honestly, though, right now it's dark, cold, night time. I have no idea where I am in a town I've never been to before. Can't even use my phone for maps. And there's cameras everywhere saying there's speed cameras. So I think the best thing for me to do is use my phone to get back home, enjoy the car for the night, and report back to you all tomorrow. God, she's quick now. Go on, girl. As you can tell by my bright yellow hoodie, it's a brand new day. I've had the car remap now for probably, 12 hours or so. And all I can say is I am over the moon. This thing, it's a different car. Typically, in old diesel fashion, you've got power from 1500 RPM to about 3.5, and then it's nothing. But now, it revs like a petrol car. You sort of hit that torque curve at about 2k and it will take it all the way to redline, up. Oh, they have worked wonders on this thing. Right now though, I think this car can keep up with much faster stuff. I'm in 3rd gear. Jesus Christ. It does not feel anything like 140 horsepower and 225 foot-pounds of torque. Those are big numbers. Well, when I say those, I mean the torque's a big number. 140 horsepower is what you get in most shopping cars these days. Now, unfortunately, being England, it is a bit rainy today. So I do have to be a bit careful because the front tyres on this car are from a brand called Rodex, which is China's biggest competitor for Michelin. Of course, that's a lie though, because these tyres would even make a bicycle spin. So with 225 foot-pounds of torque, I do need to go slightly careful. So numbers-wise though, because the car hasn't had a service in a while and the fuel filter is a bit clogged up, it did make the numbers it should. Now, they quoted 157 brake and 251 foot-pounds of torque. It made a bit less. It made 142 horsepower and I think it was 225 foot-pounds of torque. But the thing is though, these are still very good numbers, and the way it performs does not reflect those numbers. It performs like it's got way more of both. But what really interested me though was the standard numbers this made. So standards, 100 horsepower and 177 foot-pound of torque. But just with that performance panel air filter in and some premium diesel, the thing made 192 foot-pounds of torque and 110 horsepower. And it's 20 years old and 125,000 miles. How has it done that? I'm very, very impressed with this thing. Love it. But last night was a fun night. You can ask any car guy this and they'll always have the same answer. When you get a car back that's just been tuned or remapped or got something new to it, that first night is always the best. Jumping into a car that you're used to standard, making much more power is such a joy. I mean look, fifth gear, pulls. And this car can do some silly numbers now, and without question now, this is a diesel hot hatch. Maybe when I bought the car and said it was a diesel hot hatch, that was a bit of a stretch. But now, God, it can move. I think we need to do a little cheeky, should we go third gear pull? No, we'll give it a second gear pull. All right, 15 miles an hour. Foot flat, nothing turbo. 60. Oh, I love it. Going back to my point of reliability a bit earlier, this car did 11 runs last night and not one time did it go in limp mode or have any issues throughout. It kept temperature the entire time. Now we do have a bit of a challenge though. Can I find a dry tarmac in the UK? I think it was easier to find Osama bin Laden. Because I do have all that torque now though, through a open diff and some big Porsche wheels, I do get quite a bit of torque steer, which in first gear when you're pulling off and you're not aware, it does scare you a bit. Gosh, she spins in second. Yeah, I definitely need better suspension. She's a bit sketchy. Alright, to say the truth, it is a little bit wet. Not a great road, but it's the best I can do. We'll even close the sunroof to get an accurate time. Alright, 0 to 60. 3, 2, 1, go. Still spinning. 60. Okay, I may have to find a better road because that spun, where it spun to about 50 miles an hour. I did get 9.8 seconds though. I'll take it. Okay, same bit of road as yesterday. I found a nice dry spot. Reset the app. Come on. No, wheel spin. Yes, okay, yes. Come on, Cal. 60. We have just got a 0 to 60 in my front wheel drive Polo in the wet. 7.5 seconds. Yes, go. Wow, 7.5 seconds. That's quick. I mean, when you look at the other hot hatches that came out in about 2004, that time's not even that far off. I might have to revisit this tomorrow, but I bet if I can find a good dry bit of tarmac, we can get this thing in the 6s to 60. Oh! Okay, this looks quite dry. Third and final attempt. Come on, car. Good, good, good. 60. Okay, that one, not as good. 8.9 seconds. With that though, I did try and get out of first as quick as possible, because the second your foot flat at first, it wheel spins. I mean, whoever bought this car brand new optioned the £1,000 electric sunroof, but did not option traction control, so this car doesn't have it. But overall, I am so happy with this remap, and the biggest shout out to Celtic Tuning. They have transformed this car. But yeah, to answer the question, are remaps really worth your money? Yes, yes they are. I cannot recommend a remap enough. No matter what car you've got, go out there, spend a few £100 and transform your car into something that really puts a smile on your face. With that though, I'll see you in the next one.